In our life hack section, we want to look at what study options you have, or if you've decided not to go to university and not to take the university route, there are other options, and these options that are outside of the university framework have actually become a lot more prominent to young people and a lot more attractive to young people out there because of many young people going to a public university, and a 3-year degree just seems to be their only option but to get a foot into the door to a successful career. And that's what they think. But when we offer you a different opportunity and many more ways to study further, and today we're looking at what is called vocational training. To tell us more about the stream of study and work is Siyavuya Makubalo, and she's the marketing manager at Oxbridge Academy, which is a leading South African college and a brand of Advotech, Africa's largest private education provider. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Capetalk.
Good afternoon.
Chat to us about vocational training, because as we know, people and parents would say, you have to go to university, you have to be like me, you have to go and study law, you have to go and study. But that's not necessarily, because we need a whole range and a whole host of different skills within the country. So we don't have the plumber, we don't have the electrician, we don't have the merchandiser. Those things could grind to a halt, and we're sitting with university graduates that are not able to be electricians. Chat to us about vocational training.
Yeah, so I think it's important that people know that there are options out there. I think traditionally people think that university is the only sort of way to success. And vocational training really is an option for a lot of students. And I think given also our sort of economy, it gives you practical training for a specific job or function that you would like, compared to, as I said, classroom learning from the institutions. So, yeah.
The old apprenticeship used to be a very big part of vocational training, and a very big part of you're going to become an electrician or a plumber or any an engineer in that particular field, or you just want to become a dyer, fitter and turner, which a number of people out there used to do in the past. And the old sort of apprenticeship used to be that way out. What has it been replaced with, or is it still in existence?
It is still in existence. I think it's important also just to let the listeners know that there are different kinds of vocational training. So you have vocational training, which is sort of your formal education, which is your registered TVET colleges, and you are able to study through them. And then again, you still have apprenticeship, where you're able to get training through a skilled professionals who shows you how to do it. But I think it's important that people know that with the TVET colleges as well, you can have apprenticeship, but you can also have a formal education through a TVET college.
Chat to us about Oxbridge Academy.
Oxbridge Academy is a distance learning college. We are located in Stellenbosch, and we've got students throughout South Africa. And what is nice about our college is that we're a distance learning college, so it's flexible. Our average age for our students is about 29. So most of them are working while they're studying, which is great, because once they've finished, they have that sort of practical knowledge that they've acquired while they've been working, as well as they have obviously the qualifications from Oxbridge Academy.
Chatting this afternoon to Siyavuya Makubalo, and she's the marketing manager at Oxbridge Academy, which is a leading South African college and brand of Advotech, one of South Africa's largest private education provider. Give us an example of some of the fields that people could pursue, if because we are halfway through the year. Matriculants are looking at other options, and people who are school leavers are looking at other options, or even people who are stuck in a job are saying to themselves, the only way out for me is to actually empower myself with some kind of education and some kind of a degree, not necessarily a degree, but some kind of a diploma that I can actually further myself and better myself in this particular. Is that empowerment that's essential for people, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. We've got a range of courses within our college. We've got engineering, we've got business management, we have human resources, we've got occupational health and safety, we've got educate, we've got a range of courses. And within these courses, you've got short learning programs, you've got occupational certificates, where when you do an occupational certificate, you have to show us work-based sort of training that you've acquired. So there's different sort of programs. For our slogan, we always say, for each and every student. We have a course for if you are wanting to try out sort of the TVET space and you want to do sort of a short learning program, we have you covered. We also have online courses for people who prefer to do online courses, and people who really then prefer to have sort of an occupational certificate that's recognized by the relevant regulatory bodies that we have in the occupational health and safety sort of space. We have those courses on offer.
0214460567 if you'd love to join the conversation, and if you are sitting with a child at home that doesn't know where to go, or if you are at a job and you say, I want to just empower myself and get out of this job or get a better job, actually, you need to do that with education. And we are chatting this afternoon to Siyavuya Makubalo, who's the marketing manager at Oxbridge Academy. Why is this a good fit for some students? Because, very often when people in a community, children in a community, they finish school, the parents, especially in our township areas, have battled to get that child to matric. They've really battled to get that child to matric. And now the child has got to become a sort of a breadwinner for the family. So is this a good fit for a lot of children out there?
It definitely is a good fit. I think based on where we are with our economy, I think unfortunately some people don't have the opportunity or have necessarily can study full time. So some people really want to be able to study, and they are the breadwinners, so they can still be breadwinners while they are really on an academic journey of bettering their lives through sort of distance learning or TVET college. So I think it's also important, and I think what's also important is that the entry requirements for TVET college are much lower than a university as well. So it's more accessible to maybe a student who isn't necessarily wanting to do sort of theoretical knowledge in the classroom. So they really want to do sort of practical experience, and they really see themselves wanting to do sort of that practical experience. And, they just wanted to sort of get to matric, and they're really saying, I really want to go through engineering, and I really don't want to do theoretical knowledge in the classroom and have a 4-year degree. I really want to do hands-on. And we've had stories where some of our students work in sort of engineering firms where they then can gain that sort of experience and knowledge while they're studying and changing their lives.
COVID has probably been a very big learning curve for the Oxbridge Academy, because now you have to have this opportunity of virtual learning together with sort of in-person learning. How much is the virtual world impacted on the Oxbridge Academy? I
think, to be honest, we were ahead of the curve. We're a distance learning college. So for us, we send through our books to them. So we were already ahead of the curve. And funny enough is that during COVID, a lot of students were really wanting to study because it was easier for them. They got their textbooks, they were at home, they had more time. So with the virtual space and everything going on, we were way ahead. And I think that's what's nice about distance learning. It gives you that flexibility to be able to even structure how you go about your studies and how you want to change your life.
If you have a question for Siyavuya, give us a call on 0214460567 or send us a WhatsApp to 0725671567. What are the different kinds of vocational training?
So I mentioned before, so you have your formal sort of qualification, vocational qualification, which is going through a registered TVET college. And I think it's also important, as people do research about TVET colleges, is that there are also some fly-by-nights colleges. So people who are looking for TVET colleges, making sure that it's registered with the Department of Higher Education and Training, and as well as then, as you mentioned before, apprenticeship. So those are your sort of trainings that you can do, as well as work-based as well.
my brother actually, who is at your opposition.
Let's not mention
Not
names.
going to mention them, but it was interesting because he called me when the EPRI was on, and he said to me, "Do you know of anything? Do you know?" So the EPRI, as a matter of fact, had co-opted with a number of universities in designing an electric car in South Africa or in Cape Town, and I gave him Ian's number and his students who in the engineering field with him actually got involved in the EPRI, and it was such an amazing opportunity. Why is it then that vocational training sometimes is a better option for some people than university?
It definitely gives people practical experience. It gives them practical knowledge with the engineering that you're talking about, with the engineering studies or business management, especially with employees and South Africa's context of they want entry-level employees who have some experience, who have some knowledge. You look at adverts that you see on certain career websites, and they want some
experience
knowledge.
required.
They want
It's always
some knowledge, and for you to be able to say, you know what, I've really done engineering and I've worked at an engineering firm, whether it's 10 months, 18 months, I have that experience. I'm not walking into this industry not knowing really how everything goes, because, you know, sometimes some people will have 3 days or 2 days with sort of your traditional classroom where they are doing work shadowing or whatever the case may be, whereas with us it's longer. You have that knowledge, you have that experience, which you've acquired over a number of months.
021-446-0567 if you have any questions for our guest this afternoon, the marketing manager at Oxbridge Academy. And you can send us a WhatsApp to 0725671567. Here's a WhatsApp message for you. Good afternoon. Does Oxbridge offer any courses or qualifications with regards to auxiliary nursing and home-based care?
Yes, we do have a home-based personal care worker, and it's a course that really looks at the communities and gives you, again, practical experience as well as knowledge that when you do leave with a certificate, you're able then to move over and work in the communities where you're based or where you want to work at.
You mentioned earlier on that the entry levels are slightly lower than for a university. Obviously, a university, you must have your matric, and of course, you must have your university exemption. From which grade would you then be accepting pupils or learners into a program?
Zain, I think it depends on the course in which they're wanting to study. If they're doing an engineering course, we do require maths and science, and if they don't, we then also offer bridging certificates, where if they don't necessarily have the sort of subjects that they had in matric, we do have bridging certificates in business management. We do have bridging certificates within engineering. So we are still trying to also get the gap there with students who then decide, oh, okay, I haven't really done maths and science, but I still want to go through the engineering sort of field, that we do have bridging certificates, and they can do a bridging to be able to then qualify for an engineering or business management course.
Are you all over Africa?
We are all over South Africa, and we will be all over Africa. That is the goal. We really want to be able to give students affordable, quality education.
Another question very quickly coming off our WhatsApp line. Do they offer courses for industrial psychology, and what is the approximate cost and timescale? Cost is a bit of a difficult thing for you to say, but what do you offer that, courses in industrial psychology, and what is the sort of time frame that a person could be looking at?
So we have human resource management. That's one course field of ours, and we have from N4 to N5 to N6. That is done over 12 months. We say that, but it really depends on how the person works and whether they hand in their assignments. What we really also, I'd like to say, is that we pride ourselves at Oxbridge Academy is that we are really, I think, the leaders in distance learning when it comes to student support. Because I think studying via distance learning to some could necessarily not be the option, because, I mean, they're scared. But we have student support, and we have student support who calls our students to find out why they haven't really submitted the assignment. Are they doing well with their courses? Because I think it can get very lonely, and I think the success or the disappointment can be, if you don't have sort of that student support with you.
I found that out when I was doing a postgrad through UNISA. So it's one of those things. Chatting this afternoon to Siyavuya Makubalo, and she's the marketing manager at Oxbridge Academy, Industrial Psychology. Yes. Where can people get more details? Is there a website they can go to with all the courses listed and the prices and so on?
Definitely. You can visit www.oxbridgeacademy.ag.za. We are very fast on our WhatsApp, so it's 066 387 3876. We have student advisors who are ready right now to assist you with registration. We believe in a hassle-free registration. So if you want to find out more about which courses that you'd like, you can please send us a WhatsApp, and we've got student advisors who are willing to assist. Even if you want to find out more information, or you want to find out if you want to necessarily say industrial psych and you want to know, and our student advisors are there to be able to assist you.
And that's why she's the marketing manager for Oxbridge Academy. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And there we go. You can get all those details at oxbridgeacademy.ag. It's very important to be, .ag.co.za. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much.